In the world of the nature documentary, there is this reoccurring attempt to capture the grandeur and beauty of the natural world. Think of the dramatic, slow-motion, high-quality images you see in National Geographic or the Blue Planet series. And this is certainly a fine approach, and it makes for some powerful pictures. But what if we went in a different direction?
Pieuvre, poulpe, animal horrifique.
Jean Painleve is a French filmmaker most notable for a series of zoological surrealist short films, most of which center on marine animals. And he approaches his subjects with a cinematic style seemingly unbecoming of documentary, withdrawing from objectivity to warp and abstract nature into something more bizarre and alien. Throughout his life, Painleve was tied to many counterculture movements, artistic and political. Knowing that, it's a bit easier to track his influences. He was good friends with filmmakers like Sergei Eisenstein, the father of editing theory, and Louis Benuel, who most notably directed the surrealist monolith that is Un Chien Andalou. Painleve combined his interest in biology and surrealist art to create a vast filmography like nothing I've ever seen before. Throughout his many films, Painleve focused on the more bizarre creatures that inhabit Earth. Octopi, crabs, anemones, seahorses, and aquatic bugs were all starring leads, and he utilized many cinematic techniques to bring out their oddities. Extreme close-ups would highlight their strange shapes, even to the point of reducing animals to abstract, unknowable images, if only to show how fundamentally separate these animals are from human. I mean, there were moments in these films that I could mistake for brackage at a quick glance. He often pointed his camera at the aspects of nature we don't usually see. I think the most notable example of that is his late-era short, The Love Life of an Octopus, which focuses on exactly that. And of course, octopus sex isn't necessarily what you expect to see in art house cinema, but there it is, and I think that's kind of beautiful.
Chaque œuf est long d'1 millimètre environ. Son évolution montre d'étranges phénomènes dont notamment.
In his later works, Painleve set his films to strange, more experimental music and sound design to match the images on screen, while his earlier films featured jazz music juxtaposed to the images on screen. Both approaches are as interesting and effective as each other. Of course, he narrated over most of his films.
Une poche dans laquelle la femelle pond en plusieurs fois 200 œufs.
In some sense, playing the part of a sort of circus director, explaining and exhibiting his morbid collection. But what's the point? Why make experimental, surrealist documentaries? And while I can't speak for Painleve, I'll give you my own thoughts. You see, I think his films highlight the strangeness of nature in order to help us appreciate it even more. We become so used to seeing all these animals that we can sometimes forget just how beautiful and interesting they really are. And when Painleve presents them as he does, it invigorates our fascination and curiosity. Whether you find it beautiful or disturbing, it's rather hard to look away. To conclude, it's quite clear to me that Painleve was fascinated and disturbed by the natural world around him, and he used his unique cinematic voice to elicit these fascinating and disturbing emotions the best he could. He's a supremely underappreciated filmmaker, and I hope this video might influence you to explore his work. Until next time, I've been Eggnog, and I hope you stay safe and keep watching movies.